Play ball, sports fans. It's another exciting week here at the WTOL 11 Plus Leaderboard. I'm Tyler Segerman.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. Football season continues to roll along, and we've got you covered with the latest and greatest around our area right now. Not to mention a jam-packed top 11 countdown you won't want to miss.
From big upsets to big wins at home, we're breaking down a couple games that had massive implications.
He's a principal, a dad, and a coach. We introduce you to the man doing it all this season. We're counting down the top 11 BGSU football players of the 21st century, plus our poll, parent shout-out, and so much more. Let's dive in.
If there's one thing that makes college football special, it's how unpredictable the sport can be. After all, who doesn't love an upset? Well, in Indiana this past weekend, Adrian College found themselves as a huge underdog, yet the Bulldogs ended up pulling off the unthinkable.
Keith back, stepping up, throwing deep. It's going to be picked off. And the bowl game is over.
We had a 2% chance of winning that game.
What began as a goal to simply compete ended with a result that will be talked about forever.
I certainly believe so. I know some old timers probably would disagree, but the reality is you beat a Division I team at their place, and you were huge underdogs. It has to be, in my opinion, the biggest win.
Adrian College, who plays in Division III, defeated Valparaiso on Saturday 10-7, jump-starting a new belief within this program.
It just goes to show, this new team, there's a lot of newcomers on this team, transfers and everything, including me, just really helps us believe what we can do, and, we got to apply it every single day from now on.
Without a touchdown on offense and trailing late in the game, Monroe native Noah Boudry had one last chance to make his mark.
They rolled a cover 3, so I just threw the seam, and I got hit, so I was down on the ground and I didn't see anything. But I heard our sideline screaming and the fans start screaming, so I knew we caught it and scored.
And this game has flipped in a dime.
A 26-yard strike to Ethan Aberger flipped the script with 26 seconds to play. Yet, the drama didn't end there. Bulldogs defense, which forced 5 turnovers, still needed one more to bring home history. And Ethan Burrows delivered.
To be honest with you, the expectations were really high for ourselves. So I'm not really too surprised with the way it turned out as far as us playing defense. We prepared for that moment.
Players are quick to point out the unsung heroes of that night.
Really, the coaches, they've done a great job getting us ready and preparing us for the season, and just gives, the players a lot of confidence.
I was very impressed because the reality is they started camp so much sooner than we did. They had a game under their belt, and we didn't have any of that. So, for our first go-round, to not make mistakes allows the underdog to stay in the game.
Joe Polka is entering his second season with Adrian. And the crazy part about all of this, Valpo wasn't supposed to be the Week 1 opponent. Madonna University dropped late in the spring, which then opened the door.
And the kids, were excited about it, accepted it, and it gave us something to point to in the whole off season. So, it's just crazy how, a quick twist of fate puts you in that situation, and then to be able to capitalize is huge.
From underdog to the epitome of a bulldog, this team couldn't have asked for a better start. The challenge now, pushing forward.
We got a big goal to win a championship, so with us getting a big win like that in the first week, that lets us know that everything we believe in can possibly happen.
What a way to kick off the campaign. Congratulations again to Adrian. They'll be back in action on Saturday afternoon for the home opener.
All right, thanks, Tyler. Toledo football recently had their home opener for the 2025 season, and a lot took more place than the football itself. I was there for the action inside and around the Glass Bowl. Here's the recap. The biggest party in Toledo lived up to the hype and certainly did not disappoint on the field. The Rockets not only got their first win of the season, but head coach Jason Candle's 74th career win, making him the winningest coach in Toledo football history. Over 24,000 fans gathered inside the Glass Bowl for Toledo football's home opener. Most to watch football, others to get tattoos, courtesy of Erie Street Inc. That was on the concourse, so let's break down the action on the field. Western Kentucky with the ball first. Rockets make the tackle here. Ball gets loose and it's recovered by Emmanuel McNeil Warren to put the Rockets on offense. Later on that drive, quarterback Tucker Gleason hands it off to Chip Trainum, who runs it into the end zone, and just like that, Toledo's on the board first. And it wouldn't take long for their second score of the game as McNeil Warren, again with the highlights, intercepts the pass and returns it for a pick six. Extra point is good, so Rockets now lead 14-0. Western Kentucky able to score, but the Rockets say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Gleason to train him again as he makes the 1-yard run into the end zone, another TD for Toledo, and Trainum's second of what would be his career-high 3 touchdowns on the night. Finally, second quarter, Gleason drops back, launches the 71-yard pass to Junior Vandeross, who takes it all the way to the house, as Toledo would lead 31-7 at the half. Gleason would go out of the game with a left knee injury later that quarter. Quarterback John Allen Richter would take over from there, helping lead the Rockets to a 45-21 victory.
You know, when you give the team the ball to start the game, and then to be able to get points out of it when they start with it, I mean, it's a huge momentum swing. And then, you know, to have it happen again with the pick six, I mean, you know, great individual play there. And, you know, I think defensive coaches deserve a little bit of credit here, too, of a good plan.
It's like watching film, too. Always watching film. So it's like we had preparation for this game. Like after that loss we had with Kentucky, we just came together, just locked in in the film. So once I seen the back just block, I just started reading the quarterback eyes and stuff. It just led me to the pick six. And when I seen it, my eyes got big. My eyes got big before the ball came in my hand. I just knew, yeah, I gotta take this to the crib. This was my first one too, so I was just happy to just celebrate with my team.
I would just say my mind was just stuck on executing. I felt like last week we really didn't come out and play Toledo football like how we planned on, and you know, tonight was just another opportunity for us to do so, and I think we kind of met that goal.
You know, I talk to our team all the time about the history of our program and what it's like to walk through these halls and to see all the great players that have come before them. You know, I don't think that's any different in the coaching front of it. I mean, there's been tons of great coaches that have come through this place before me, and I don't think you can really take anything or move anything forward if you don't respect, you know, where the program has come from.
The Rockets are now 1-1 on the season and will host Morgan State next. And Tyler, I don't know if you saw at the end there, but Coach Candle celebrating the 74th win, his 74th career win with his family. His wife actually had the confetti cannon right there ready to go, but it ended up being a dud, so it was just kind of a funny moment there. But nonetheless, they still were able to celebrate. But kind of funny, both of our packages, 2 completely different games. Toledo winning, I think the final score was 45-21, so didn't come as close to the wire as Adrian.
Yeah, I mean, obviously 2 FCS schools involved too. One obviously losing to a Division III school, another one losing to Toledo. While Western Kentucky is an FCS, but you know what I mean.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that obviously, you know, Jason Candle didn't get hit with that. But here's my question, because you were at the game.
Yes.
How was the touchdown tank? Because that is a lot of points to score. I'm sure President was obviously getting a lot of water when he was going down in that first half.
He did. I believe he was the 2nd or 3rd touchdown, which was either the end of the first quarter or beginning of the second. And they're all wearing this cute little leopard jacket now. So you dress up before you go in it and you go down in it. But I told him, he said, do you have any advice for me? And just like I said last week, I said, yes, when you fall in, swim forward so you don't hit your head on the diving board coming up. And I'm proud to say he listened to me and did not, but he was very wet afterwards.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad you got some advice sent to him his way. Good wins for both the Rockets and Adrian. Bulldogs both are home this weekend as well.
Bowling Green fans have seen some great players come through over the years, but who are the best of this century? We put together our top 11 Falcons since 2000. Coming up next on the Leaderboard.
Yeah, it's special. It's a lot of hard work goes into it. You know, being lightly recruited, you kind of feel like you have a chip on your shoulder and feel like you have something to prove to the other teams that passed up on you or the other coaches that didn't give you the time of day. So just a lot of hard work, and was fortunate enough to have a lot of good coaches and a lot of good players around me to help me be successful. And
It's now time for this week's Leaderboard Top 11 of the Week, and we're looking at the very best Bowling Green State University Falcons of the 21st century.
That's right, Noel. From record-breaking quarterbacks, as you saw there, to defensive disruptors, and even a few names shining in the NFL right now. These are our top 11 Bowling Green football players since the year 2000. We begin with number 11. Can't leave special teams off our list. It's kicker Sean Sweezum, one of, if not the best kicker in BG history. He left school as the program's all-time leading scorer and gave the Falcons a reliable leg before spending nearly a decade in the NFL with Washington and Pittsburgh. There, he made over 80% of his career field goals as a pro. And at number 10, still active in the league, defensive lineman Carl Brooks. He was the anchor to Bowling Green's defensive line for 5 seasons, finishing his career with 27.5 sacks and more than 160 tackles. He earned first-team All-MAC and All-American honors in 2022 before being drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Now he's a part of the team's defensive rotation in Green Bay.
Number 9 also still hears his name called on Sunday. It's wide receiver Scotty Miller. Miller's speed made him one of the most dangerous receivers in the MAC. He finished his BGSU career with more than 2,800 receiving yards and 23 touchdowns. Drafted by Tampa Bay in 2019, he became a Super Bowl champion and made one of the most memorable plays in franchise history during the 2021 NFC Championship game. He's now with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Number 8 is defensive tackle Chris Jones. No, not the one on the Chiefs. This Chris Jones developed into one of the MAC's top defenders, winning the league's Defensive Player of the Year award in 2012. He recorded 28 sacks and 46 tackles for loss during his career and was drafted in the 6th round. He went on to win a Super Bowl with the New England Patriots.
Number 7 is quarterback Tyler Sheehan. Sheehan was a steady leader for BG's offense, finishing with more than 10,000 career passing yards and 72 touchdowns. He had back-to-back 3,000-yard seasons and ranks among the program's all-time leaders in multiple categories. We talked with Tyler this week about his time as a Falcon.
Had some interest in other places, but BG sold me with Coach Stud and that group and that offense and the rich history they have at quarterback. And, I think everybody, quarterback wise, slinging the ball around 40, 50 times a game is always fun. And having that opportunity to go play there under those coaches at that time was what really sold me, from them above the rest.
Let's give the offensive line some love, shall we? Corey Lichtensteiger was a rock for Bowling Green's O-line, earning 2 first-team All-MAC honors. His technique and durability earned him a 4th-round selection in a 2008 NFL draft. He went on to have a 9-year NFL career, starting 93 games at center and guard for Washington.
At number 5, we have quarterback Matt Johnson. Johnson's 2015 season was historic. He threw for just under 5,000 yards and 46 touchdowns, which led Bowling Green to a MAC championship. That year still ranks among the best statistical seasons in MAC history. Johnson finished his career with more than 10,000 passing yards. Number 4 is a quite familiar name. We're talking current Browns tight end Harold Fannin Jr. Fannin became one of the best players in the country at his position last year, helping him earn first-team All-MAC and consensus All-American honors. He set an FBS tight end record with 117 catches for more than 1,500 yards, while also winning MAC Offensive Player of the Year. Fannin was selected by the Cleveland Browns in the 3rd round of this past NFL draft.
Number 3 is quarterback Omar Jacobs. Jacobs lit up defenses in 2004, throwing for more than 4,000 yards and 41 touchdowns, the most in the nation. He was also named MAC Offensive Player of the Year, and Jacobs finished with over 8,000 passing yards and remains one of the most feared passers in program history. Number 2 was another great, Josh Harris, one of the best quarterbacks in Falcon history as well. Harris led Bowling Green's resurgence under Urban Meyer and Greg Brandon. There he threw for more than 9,000 yards and 70 touchdowns, while also running for more than 2,000 yards. Harris guided the Falcons to national rankings and a bowl victory, helped establishing himself as one of the most dynamic dual-threat quarterbacks in MAC history. Now his son Jacob is a tight end at BG. We sat down with Josh this week about his impact as a Falcon.
I certainly came into school with a chip on my shoulder, but at the end of the day, I just try to do my job very well to the best of my ability. It has taken me decades to understand really the impact that the teams that I played on had on the university. I've had regular students come up to me and say, "You're the reason why I came to the school." I'm like, I don't even know how we get there. So we just try to play a solid brand of football. To see his name on the Jumbotron as a starter and to watch him doing the get hype stuff, and it's emotional at times, I can't wait to see him really step into his own role where and it's happening, right? But eventually he won't be Josh Harris's son, he'll be his own thing.
Number 1 is none other than Falcon Freddie Barnes himself. The wide receiver had a season for the ages in 2009, catching 155 passes, which is still the NCAA single-season record. He also racked up more than 1,700 yards and 19 touchdowns that year, finishing 9th in Heisman voting and earning consensus All-American honors. Barnes finished his career with more than 4,700 career receiving yards and 38 touchdowns. This helped establish him as the greatest Falcon of the modern era. Barnes chatted with us this week about his time as a Falcon.
My junior year, I had a bunch of injuries, missed a couple games with MCL stuff, and I wanted to do better. So I trained hard, and I got blessed with a coaching staff that trusted me. Coach Warren Ruggiero, he told my mom he was going to make me famous at the spring game, and he did. My teammates, when I committed, I connected to the guys, and for me, it was just, that's what all my other teammates stated was what brought them to the team. It was just the camaraderie. The guys there, they were dogs, and they were real, and I resonated with that. So
a lot of awesome Falcons on that list.
Definitely. A lot of stats we read for each one, but I think the biggest thing is just the upward trend that continues. Even though Bowling Green isn't in a Power 4 conference, it still has that relevancy at the next level, continuing that trend from the beginning of the century until now, 2025, obviously, with Harold Fannin Jr.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not just the signal callers either. You got offensive linemen, you got defensive players, quarterbacks, of course. So obviously we're going to see that train continue and see who's next in the BG loyalty or royalty, so to speak. Well, there you have it. That is the top 11 Falcons since 2000, from Freddie Barnes, as you just saw, his record-setting season, to Harold Fannin's All-American rise, to the NFL success stories like Carl Brooks and Scotty Miller. Bowling Green has had quite a legacy on the gridiron.
This has got to be the busiest time in your life right now.
It is, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
He's a high school principal, a head football coach, and a dad of 3. Tiffin Calvert's Mike Lento opens up about balancing it all. That conversation coming up next.
From the sidelines to the principal's office and back to the field on Friday nights, Tiffin Calvert's Mike Lento is juggling coaching, school leadership, and family life. This week, our Chase Bachman sat down with the leader, who shares how exactly he makes it all work.
Welcome into Chasing the Game. Mike Lento is here. Mike, thank you so much for coming into Toledo and doing this. How's life? How are things?
It's busy, as always. Got all 3 of our kids involved in sports now, so it seems like my wife and I are busy not just through football season, but through our kids. So, you look at it as a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, now Sunday deal with my daughter playing volleyball, 5th grade volleyball. But wouldn't have it any other way. But just appreciate you having me here and to be able to talk about ourselves, but also the Tiffin Calvert Senecas.
Absolutely. You have got to be one of the busiest high school football coaches in the area, right? I mean, already enough to be a high school football coach. You're the principal, right?
Correct.
At Calvert?
Yep.
So you do that in addition to having 3 kids. What's that like? This has got to be the busiest time in your life right now.
It is, but I wouldn't have it any other way. God has led me to where I'm at, where I'm at today, and just, instead of chasing away from what that looks like, I've answered the call, and it's not perfect every day, but it's His plan, not my plan, and just very, very blessed for all the people that are involved, especially my wife, for being patient and being understanding with where we're at, and if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't be at where we're at as a family right now.
Yeah. Do you feel more settled in year 2 leading the program as opposed to year 1? Maybe you were still kind of figuring things out, kind of getting acclimated?
Yeah, I think so. It's funny. I say it's fast, but it was even faster last year. from getting hired in and being, in February, and just I was back and forth from where I was at Lakota, trying to get the lifting program going. And then when we got started in June, it was okay, you're here. And then we were looking to move and trying to find the house. And once we got settled into Tiffin, it was just super fast. And all of a sudden we were week 4, and it's funny that we're week 4 now as we're talking. And so, but I do feel more settled with our guys, a little bit more trust. Administration's been great, community's been great, and so just glad to be able to kind of have roots in Tiffin, be where we're at, and it makes it a little bit easier.
Catch Chasing the Game on WTOL 11 Plus, YouTube, and Spotify.
Well, that'll bring us to this week's WTOL 11 Plus Leaderboard Poll of the Week. And last week we asked you who was the best all-time NFL player from Northwest Ohio.
Your options were a pair of Hall of Famers in Orlando Pace from Sandusky and Charles Woodson of Fremont Ross, plus future Hall of Famer Ben Roethlisberger, who starred at Findlay.
Yeah, and for the first time, get this, Noelle, for the first time in leaderboard history, we have a tie atop the poll. Both Charles Woodson and Big Ben Roethlisberger got 40.4% of the votes.
And that left Orlando Pace in last with 19.1%.
Wow, okay.
Gotta be honest, our coworker Chase Bachman has Charles Woodson's jersey up in his living room, so not really surprised that he was among the top there. Ben, obviously, very relevant in past years.
I was going to say, where's the offensive line love? I mean, I know Charles was great. I mean, I still can't believe his highlights. Have you gone through our archives? You see the highlights he was at Fremont Ross. Dude was a stud. And obviously what he did at Michigan was awesome as well. And Ben, I don't, when I first got to Ohio, I didn't realize he was the Findlay quarterback. I just recognized him from Miami and then the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, but to see his highlights back in the day was awesome, cool. And so I mean, I'm not surprised that Big Ben and obviously Charles were the two guys fighting for that who's the best type of conversation. But we need more love for Orlando Pace. That dude was a stud in the NFL.
I think the bottom line is the fact that the talent here in Northwest Ohio can achieve Hall of Famer status. I mean, that's amazing. It's 3, but it's 3 more than it has to be. You know what I mean? And just that trend, a bunch of Division I quarterbacks up and coming, and we get to cover them every Friday night during Big Board. So super exciting to see the Northwest Ohio talent go all the way from there. But that'll bring us to this week's Leaderboard poll question of the week. Game day looks different for everyone, so where's your perfect spot to catch a football game?
Your options are at a bar, at the stadium, at a house with friends, or on your couch alone. Noelle, what is your go-to? What will be your vote here?
Depends the day. I do love my couch on Sundays, so I'll go with the couch. In this moment right now, alone on the couch.
I'm probably with you as well. But, it's never a bad thing to be social and enjoy it with others.
Yeah, I will say when I'm winning in fantasy, I love to rub it in and be around people, just like I did this past week against Chase. Sorry,
there you go.
Don't mean to take a shot there.
Sorry, Chase. Your fantasy team is not very good. All right, moving on here. To vote, simply scan the QR code on your screen right now or head to WTOL11.com and head to the sports section. As always, we'll be back here next week to break down those results, so be sure to vote. We'll be right back.
Time for this week's Parent Shout Out of the Week.
That's right. This week's award goes to Brinley. Take a look at this.
She's a 4-year-old from Findlay and already loves gymnastics, especially the balance beam. She says doing it with her friends makes it even better.
And when she's not in the gym, Brinley is busy learning new things and hanging out with her pug puppy named Owl. Aww. She's also a big fan of the outdoors, riding her dirt bike, flying kites, climbing in her treehouse, and spending time with her cousins.
She's so cute. Sounds like Brinley is always on the move and always having fun. Those gymnasts getting started from that young of an age, and I will say the beam specifically, that event scares me the most. Watching it gives me the most anxiety. How thick is it? 4 inches?
It's a big
something like that.
Piece of lumber, yes.
The fact that they can do that,
and that's probably very high for her because she's like, she looks itty bitty, so
a little bitty.
But she has no fear in that video, so clearly she's doing well. And among the other things, riding dirt bikes as well. My goodness, she's busy.
She's versatile. Well, do you have a young athlete in your life? We want you to show them off. Whether you're a parent, grandparent, or just the biggest fan on the sidelines, we want to see your favorite youth sports moments. Send us your best photos and videos. Your submissions could be featured in WTOL 11 sports specials and across our social media platforms.
All you do is text us your highlights and be sure to include your name, your star's name, and a hometown. The number you can see on the screen, 419-248-1100, or you can email us at sports@WTOL.com. Well, that's going to do it for another episode of the Leaderboard here on WTOL 11 Plus. I'm Tyler Segerman.
And I'm Noelle Blumel. And from our entire WTOL 11 Leaderboard team, we'll see you next game.